Motion carries 9 votes yes.
Before I move on, I just want to, Mr. Johnson, I want to thank you for being so diligent on that issue. When the report comes back, I think it will be very telling in terms of what things have to be done. The truth is, it's a very difficult thing for anyone in political office to not deal with issues right in front of them, present-day problems, and deal with some of the long-term effects. I think that's the responsible thing to do, and I really appreciate you really staying on top of this. So thank you. Item 11, clerk will read.
Item 11 is a report from Financial Management with the recommendation to receive and file the fiscal year 2012 third quarter budget performance report.
So moved. Moved and seconded. Any member of the public wish to address the council on item 11? Any council discussion? Seeing none, members cast your votes. Up, Mr. Johnson.
Thank you, Mayor. Yeah, I have a question, I guess, for the city manager or Mr. Gross. It sounds like, my understanding here is we went over, but we had a surplus from previous years. So maybe could you comment on that? And given this report, do you feel confident that our, we will hopefully come in at budget the next year? Do you feel like our revenue projections and expenditures, do you feel confident in those numbers given this report?
Our budget manager, Dennis Tricotta, will answer that. Councilmember Johnson, members of the council, Mayor, we do believe that we will come on budget. The actions that were taken by the city manager at the end of the first quarter to impose a 1% savings target for city manager departments was sufficient to get us close to that number. In addition, using the $5 million that were left over from last fiscal year to apply, the combination of those two will keep us on budget. And typically in the fourth quarter, there are some revenues coming in or spending below the estimate. So we think we'll be more than safe in terms of being able to remain on budget by the end of the year.
Okay, so you don't expect in the coming year to need to use reserves or surplus funds from previous years, or if something changes, certainly come back to council and let us know before that occurs. Is that correct?
We certainly believe that we'll have an early indication if there's a problem, and typically it's going to be on the revenue side, but we're pretty comfortable with the estimates we had in the budget.
Well, thank you very much for your diligence, and I appreciate it.
Councilmember Shifty.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. And I understand, so on page 2, you indicated that what you're doing is applying a $5 million surplus from FY11 to be able to make certain we didn't have any shortfall in FY12?
Yes, Councilmember.
Okay, and then I did ask Mr. Gross at the end of the budget session last time. My understanding is we haven't had the final calculation of the oil production revenues for FY12. They have not yet come in, so we should expect, I think, some additional revenue.
We have not done that calculation, no.
Do you know when that will happen?
It's going to be November when we have the books closed.
Okay, and I would hope that at that point, when that report comes to us, we can perhaps revisit some of the very serious cuts in public safety, particularly if the revenue projections are much higher than what we thought they would be. So I look forward to that report.
Okay, members, no further questions. Members, cast your votes on item 11.
Motion carries 9 votes yes.
Item 12, clerk will read.
12 is a report from Financial Management with a recommendation to approve the fiscal year 2012 third quarter departmental and fund budget appropriation adjustments in accordance with the existing city policy.
So moved. Moved and second. Any member of the public wish to address council on item 12? Any council discussion? Seeing none, members cast your votes on item 12.
Councilmember DeLong. Motion carries 9 votes yes.
Item 13, clerk will read.
13 is a report from the Police Department with a recommendation to receive and file the application of Chipotle Mexican Grill for an original ABC license at 6324 East Pacific Coast Highway. This is in the 3rd District.
So moved. Moved and seconded. Any member of the public wish to address council item 13? Any council discussion? Seeing none, members cast your votes on item 13.
Motion carries, 9 votes yes.
Item 14, clerk will read.
14 is a report from Public Works and Parks and Recreation and Marine with a recommendation to authorize city manager to execute an amendment to the agreement with RGM Design Group in the amount of $300,000 for architectural services related to the Belmont Plaza Pool Revitalization Project.
So moved. Second. Moved and seconded. Any member of the public wish to address the council on item 14? You coming down for 14? Yes. All right, thank you. Just, please identify yourself and be mindful of the time. You'll see a light come on yellow when you have 30 seconds left. Thank you.
My name's Lucy Johnson. I live on Petaluma in the 5th District, and I had sent some correspondence to a few of you council members earlier or late last week and over the weekend to discuss this. I had several concerns about this item and how it was drafted and written. Councilmember DeLong was kind enough to meet with me this afternoon along with Eric Lopez from Public Works, and I've had other conversations with people that are interested as well. My original intent was to ask you to withdraw this item, but I think that after a lot of the discussions we've had, there's a real benefit to going forward with this project, getting something in there that will serve the public in case Belmont Plaza goes down again for lack of repairs. But I would like to see a commitment from the council that we will go forward with a phase 2 and not just use this as an excuse to say, okay, now we have a pool, let's just tear down Belmont because of the seismic issues and have a big hole in the ground or fill the hole. We'd like to see a world-class, international standard, state-of-the-art facility again, like it was when it was built originally. Was a member of Long Beach Swim Club, Phillips 66 Long Beach Swim Club, the original club that was brought here with my coach to be the team in that pool. I showed Councilmember DeLong today the city seal that is surrounded by Long Beach Swim Club, our patch. We've had a tremendous history of international champions, world champions, Olympic champions, national team holders, record championships, teams. And we would like to see that continue. Right now, we have no adequate facility in which to put those kinds of programs in. We can't use Belmont Plaza as it exists as a 50-meter facility, and that's what all international competitions, primary ones, are held in. We've had 2 Olympic trials here. We've had 2 NC2A championships here. The city's missed the boat several times on repairs to fix the pool so it could at least be used as a 50-meter facility again. And we just really are interested in seeing, there's quite a support out in the community for seeing this facility restored or rebuilt to provide us with the same kind of glory that we had before. Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate your diligence. Thank you. Next, please.
I'm Tom Shadden, member of the 3rd District, representing Long Beach, the aquatic capital of America. I too would like to support what Mrs. Johnson said. This is a timely event that we need to focus on because of the condition that the pool is in currently. And this is something we really need for the city in the future because it's an icon of the city. So I support it 100%, and our organization does as well. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Shadden, and thank you for all your efforts with aquatics. Everybody identifies you with that issue, so thank you very much. Next, please.
Hello, Mr. Mayor and Council. My name is Shai Cordell. I live in the Los Altos area, over next to Long Beach State. I'm here on behalf of Shore Aquatics, just to let you know that we're very excited that this is being moved forward. And we have 240 kids currently, 120 swimmers, and approximately 120 water polo players. So we couldn't be more excited. We just wanted to express our thanks to you.
Thank you. Appreciate the comments. Mr. O'Donnell.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, I just want to thank Councilmember DeLong for pushing this along. I know we've kind of worked on this a bit together. This is a priority to me. Shai, my kids are with your other family members swimming over at Long Beach State right now. And they are actually. Mr. Shadden, you've done a wonderful job of moving this down the road too, and making sure that we all pay attention to the fact that we are the aquatic city. And very important that we keep kids busy after school, in those golden hours, and get them into a healthy lifestyle. So this is a good moment. We're moving forward, and I also would encourage the city manager to look at how we could incentivize the construction company that ultimately gets this project, how we could incentivize them to get this project done in a very timely manner. Is there something we can do? Because I mean, who knows, is Belmont going to be available while there's construction going on next to it? Who knows how the design's ultimately going to look? But what can we do? It may have to go offline, and then we're going to have to lease space other places. And so again, I think we'd save some money and get kids back in the pool much sooner if we could incentivize the early construction date on that. So anyways, I turn it back to you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Arnold. Mr. West?
Mr. Mayor, council members, I just want to point out that the gentleman that just spoke, Chai Cradell, we're having our Olympic Parade of Champions Saturday. Chai is an Olympian from the water polo team, lives in Long Beach. Thank you, Chai.
Congratulations.
It was in the 4th district, I might add.
That's a tougher sport than everybody knows, believe me. On top of the water, it looks really gentle. Below the water here, a lot of stuff's going on. Mr. DeLong.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and thank you, the three of you, for coming down and speaking to this item. It's important to show that support from the community. And I also would like to thank my colleague, Councilmember O'Donnell, who was one of the first to jump on board when we talked about wandering down this path. So thank you for that, and this is just the beginning and a lot more to come. Thank you.
All right, thank you all. We have a motion and a second. Thanks for the public comment. Appreciate it. Members, cast your votes.
Motion carries 9 votes yes.
Item 14, clerk will read.
Item 14 is a report from Public Works, Parks, Recreation, and Marine with a recommendation to authorize the city manager to execute a contract amendment with BOA Architecture Government Services to increase that contract by $474,000 for services associated with the Tidelands Beach restrooms and the Leeway Sailing Center. This is in Districts 2 and 3.
Thank you. That's 15.
So moved, sir.
It's mine. All right, moved and seconded. Any member of the public wish to address council item 15? Seeing no comment, members cast your votes on item 15.
Motion carries 9 votes yes.
Thank you, members. Item 16, under ordinances, clerk will read. 16 is a recommendation to declare an ordinance approving a resolution of the Long Beach Board of Water Commissioners establishing rates and charges to be charged for services and declaring the urgency thereof that this ordinance shall take place on October 1st, 2012. Moved and seconded. Any member of the public wish to address council on item 16? Any council discussion? Seeing none, members cast your votes on item 16.
Councilmember Johnson? Councilmember Neal? Motion carries 8 votes yes.
Item 17, clerk will read.
Item 17 is a recommendation to declare an ordinance adopting an amendment to the Department Organizational Ordinance of the City of Long Beach, read and adopted as read.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any member of the public wish to address council on item 17? Any council discussion? Seeing none, members cast your votes on item 17.
Motion carries 8 votes yes.
Thank you. Item 18, clerk will read.
Item 18 is a recommendation to declare an ordinance approving and adopting the official budget of the City of Long Beach for fiscal year 2012-2013 and declaring the urgency thereof and providing that the ordinance shall take effect on October 1st, read and adopted as read.
So moved.
Moved and seconded. Any member of the public wish to address council on item 19? I'm sorry, 18, excuse me. Yes, please come forward. Again, just identify yourself and watch the lights.
Ann Cantrell, and I'm sure that you have received a lot of emails from people that are unhappy with this proposed budget and urging you, Mayor Foster, to use your veto power. There were a lot of things last week that were passed that were not discussed, especially the park rangers. And even though the library seemed to feel that they were getting their full restoration, as I read what was proposed in the budget, the main library will now be closed both Monday and Sunday, the way the branch libraries are. And Bret Hart and Dana will still be reading rooms only. And It's amazing to me that tonight you have found $5 million from the previous year's budget. You don't know how much is coming in from the oil, and you are still making these cuts. I would suggest that there might be money available, just like there was from the prior budget, that might be available, and that all the staff that is going to be losing their jobs are doing it unnecessarily. So that's my only plea, that you discuss this more thoroughly. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Cantrell. Any other public comment? Councilmember Shipsky.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Along that line, Mr. West, I think it might be helpful, because so much went on last week, and I apologize, I had to leave a little bit early because I had back problems, but being here for the substantive part of the discussion, I think there's a lot of confusion as to really what happened. I know we passed the budget, but could we take the community budget book that was given to the public and then line it up with what the council did to see of those that were things being proposed to be cut, what was restored and to what level? At some point, if you just do it by memo, I think that would be helpful, and the public, it would explain some things to the public, because there's a lot of uncertainty as to what was restored, not restored in the process.
Mayor, Councilmembers, I think we can certainly do that offline in a memo and use the community budget book and exactly what you said.
I appreciate that.
That doesn't sound too time consuming,
We
yes.
can share that with the public. Thank you.
All right, thank you all. We have a motion and a second. Members cast your votes on item 18.
Motion carries, 9 votes yes.
Okay, I don't know about you members, but I'm ready to go over item 20 again. Guess not. Love talking about baseball. All right, that concludes the regular agenda. We'll now go to new business. Before we begin new business, I just wanted to ask the council to adjourn in the memory of 2 members of our city family tonight, Emma Henderson and Gregory Moore. Emma Henderson passed away on September 5th. Residents will know Emma at Burnett Library, where she worked as the library clerk until her retirement just last month. Emma had worked for our library services department for 36 years. During that time, she put her heart and soul into serving the community. It was not at all unusual to see moms and dads bringing their own children by to get to know Miss Emma. Our thoughts and prayers with Emma's family and the colleagues during this sad time. I now would like to turn the adjourned memory over to Councilmember Andrews, who knew Gregory Moore very personally. Mr. Andrews.
Thank you, Mayor. You know, it is with heavy heart that I close tonight's City Council meeting in the honor of another employee, Greg Morris. Greg passed away on Sunday, September the 9th. Greg was a refuge operator for 3 and 28 years with the city employees. He spent his entire career working in the refuge division. He was an avid fisherman and a poly-track athlete in the early 70s, where he was his coach. Where I was his coach, excuse me. He followed poly-track over the years, included going to and fro the track fields all over, and an inspiration to all the younger athletes. Greg was also a longtime 6th District resident. Greg was a great employee, always willing to go above and beyond the call of duty. He was well liked by everyone and was considered a leader among his peers. He will be very much missed. And I miss you very much, Greg. God bless.
Thank you, Mr. Andrews. Mrs. Clerk will make sure those are conveyed to the families. Thank you. Councilmember Shipsky.
Well, thank you very much. We want to invite everyone on the September 21st to attend the next production of Homefront Theater. We will be showing So Proudly We Hail, which is a 1941 movie. The refreshments are going to be provided by the Sisters in the Brotherhood, which are members of the Carpenters Union. And this is open to the public. Again, it's at 1 o'clock at the El Dorado Senior Center, which is located at 2800 Studebaker Road, and it's our Homefront Theater. And put on your calendars, please, that on Saturday, September 29th,